Welcome to CSAI. Today we are introducing Zack Ritchie, one of Malta's leading NFT artists.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me.
So Zack, if you could explain to us, what is an NFT?
In simple terms, is a digital asset. It's something that can prove ownership of it, and it utilizes smart contracts. And this basically can show that now no longer is a JPEG, something that can easily be copied and pasted. It can lead back and show that there is an actual original. So using blockchain technology has a ledger. It's almost like accounts. And this ledger records everything. So if Serena had to create an artwork, she uploads it onto a platform, it will mark that Serena has created this artwork, it is dated this year, it has been sold for this price. And because of that, you can prove, for example, if I had to purchase an artwork, I can prove, like, listen, this is an artwork of Serena and I own it. People, it's true, they can copy and paste the image, but then when it comes down to showing who owns it, the blockchain, you could say, is the accountant, the lawyer, the person who's going to prove that you actually own it. So NFTs are there to allow digital art now to be not seen as just commercial and standards. It's basically changing the relationship of digital. Digital is becoming assets now. Digital art can actually be an asset as valuable as maybe a tangible as well.
Does an NFT have to be a digital art?
In this case, yes, it has to be a digital art, but it can be amalgamation of more than one thing. You can, for example, what's beautiful about this time and space is it's open to everyone. So there isn't any rules right now. Yes, it has to be uploaded on a platform that uses blockchain, but what you deliver is completely up to you. If a young artist would like to give a painting, he can back it up by having an NFT. Maybe the NFT can be the certificate to show that they own the certain artwork. As people have tried to, so everyone in this space, since it's so new and there isn't really much rules, they're trying to continuously add more value to stand out across the crowd. And there are people who have created tangibles, but that is a concern that I myself don't have the answer to, because it's true. If you provide an NFT and it's seen as a certificate, but then you also provide a tangible, and if that tangible is sold, it's almost kind of like not having, for example, a Rolex without the certificate. It might still be valuable, but the overall thing put together would be worth obviously much more. They should go together, but it doesn't. The thing is, it's so open. Anything can be done. If you wish to do a tangible, you can use your head. For example, there are some artists who are very intelligent. They're incorporating technology into tangible art, in the sense that, for example, an artwork would be a cutout, and within that cutout, there's a small section that's a screen. So it is a painting, but within it, there's a screen, and the screen is linked to the NFT, and it keeps on looping. The thing is, there's just so much room to play with NFTs and tangibles. And what's crazy is the value has changed over time. Before, people were just buying art's sake, saying like, listen, I like the aesthetics, this is what I like. Everyone has a different opinion on their taste in art. But as time progressed, lots of value started being injected, in the sense that they'd give physicals, for example, or for example, if you buy this NFT, you'll get merchandise. But the strongest and most reoccurring value that keeps on coming up is building a community. And in the sense that, for example, if you own the collection, or you own one of these artworks in this collection, you are part of a small tribe. Kind of like, for example, how people are crazy about their football team, or how someone's crazy about cars. It's kind of that kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's a community thing. So that is the most key value. I'll give you another case in point. Like, for example, if someone had to go abroad, we're Maltese here. So if someone had to go abroad and they go to America, for example, and they had to see someone crossing the road and speaking Maltese, most probably they'd say, hey, you're Maltese, you know what I mean? So it's that kind of thing. They're linking each other to, we're a part of a tribe, basically. I have purchased a few NFTs and I am part of them. And to be honest, the most beautifulest thing ever is trying to create your own tribe with these NFTs.
We have polled the CSAI community about their awareness of NFTs, 51% saying yes, while 49% saying no. On 11th March 2021, an NFT by Beeple sold for 69 million at Christie's, surpassing price expectations dramatically. We asked our community about how they feel about this. 47% were pretty neutral or undecided, while 30% felt negatively about it, some commenting that such a price, which is higher than a Leonardo da Vinci original, is too high, while 22% felt positively about it. To complement our findings, we asked a couple of community members in the NFT space about NFTs and if they represent the future, starting with Luca Arrigo, the co-founder of Metaverse Architects. Hi, welcome. I have Luca Arrigo, the co-founder of the Metaverse Architects, a startup that has been working in the Metaverse space, creating objects and also doing game development in the Metaverse. It's an exciting space. Welcome, Luca.
Hi, Angelo. Thank you for having me. Very excited to be here.
Hi. We are discussing about NFTs. Luca, do you think that NFTs represent the future of art? And as someone working in this new space, what is your opinion about it?
So when I first came across NFTs, the first use case of art was the main one that was out there. And I did find it very interesting that you could assign ownership to digital assets. Now, someone who comes, who like we all, live in real life, my real life personality never really gave me much of an interest in fashion. However, when I then realized that you can have fashion items that are digital, and I started, dabbling in these items and seeing how they can actually connect us and create connections with people in a virtual space just by kind of having something in common with someone else in a virtual space, which could be a wearable. I started to find that very interesting. So I do think that they're going to be with us for a long time. Someone who worked in the events industry as well, I do think that ticketing and these sort of mementos from festivals and events will also see a lot of NFTs coming into it in the next years, even this year.
And how do you see NFTs changing with the advent of the metaverse?
With the advent of the metaverse, it's giving a space for people to actually display their NFTs. When we buy art in the traditional world, most of the time we're either displaying it in our office or in our homes, and we're very happy to show off this artwork to people who visit, if not just to appreciate it for our own enjoyment. NFTs and the metaverse go hand in hand because, of course, being digital assets, you need the digital space to be able to appreciate and share this artwork.
Do you think that as the metaverse evolves, there will be issues with the NFTs becoming obsolete because maybe you'll be able to update the metaverse objects around them, but the NFTs, since they are unique.
But obsolete, I wouldn't say so. Will they change and develop and become better? I think so, and we've already seen that happening. If we compare the utility of something like a CryptoPunk to the utility of something like a Bored Ape Yacht Club, we find that because the Bored Ape Yacht Club came a bit later, they were able to develop a bit more tech into their NFT, which essentially gives it more value. So other than the artistic merit, there is also how much utility can you code into this NFT. So I don't think the older NFTs will go obsolete, but the newer NFTs will definitely have more functionality.
Perfect, thank you. Pondering about Luca's replies, we asked our community about if they think NFTs are the future of digital art. To understand the NFT space better, we have also talked to Wesley Ellul, the Chief Creative Officer of Quizando.
Thank you for having me, Angelo. This is one of the areas which I am so excited about in the new technology space because it's going to change a lot. So art in itself, art has been changing. Over the last 10 years, we've already been seeing a drastic movement from what we know as traditional art, traditional artists just painting on canvas or creating sculpture or whatever in the real world, to their ideas being envisioned in a digital world. NFTs, what they're going to give, instead of changing art, they're going to give more elements of seriousness, more authenticity to the actual digital art space. What we're going to see over here is the fact that I can actually own it and prove ownership over something, even prove to an extent creatorship of an art piece is going to change the way that people perceive that digital art that we've had. I mean, before I could create a drawing, I could put it online and wonderful, 1 million people can copy it and nothing is going to stop that from an NFT space today. 1 million people can still copy it, just like 1 million people can still take a photo or print of the Mona Lisa and reprint that 1 million times over. But what NFT gives us is that that assurance of ownership, that we know that this was created, this was generated at this date. We can verify it, and we can say this person's owned it, this person's owned it, and now today I own it. And that element of ownership in the digital world is going to make a big difference when it comes down to digital art.
And how do you see NFTs changing with the advent of the metaverse?
So the advent of the metaverse is, I mean, we've sort of been living in it for a while, and my children more so. In fact, they're the ones who have actually helped me understand the metaverse and NFTs on that. When my daughter, she's 8 years old, and Georgia's her name, and I watched her during the whole pandemic online, playing with her friends, engaging with her friends in a game called Roblox. And when she was playing that, I was noticing something that was really interesting. I was noticing how important those skins were to her, those collectible items that she had inside her world, and how she wanted to earn more Robux so that she could get the skin and show this achievement off to her friends. And that all of a sudden made me, that penny dropped. And in fact, I had already heard of NFTs. I've been in the space for a while, and I couldn't understand why someone would want, for example, an NBA Top Shot trading card. It's a piece of video that you can download off the internet. But it was the fact that it was something I owned, that showed my achievement. The fact that it's my bling, essentially. It's my Rolex, it's my Porsche in the digital world. That's how it was to her. Her skin was her bling. And I was seeing us spend more and more time online. We're in Zoom calls, we're in meetings online, we're participating in online activity. Now with the metaverse coming out, these NFTs are going to be the only way to prove not only who we are, but what we own and what we say we own. Because let's be very honest, we've grown up in a digital world. We've grown up in a world where forums and chat rooms and things like this. And one of the biggest problems was we always had to believe the person on the other side was saying the truth. This takes away that idea of having to believe. We can verify, we can prove. And this is what NFTs are going to give. So if someone is saying they are the owner of XYZ company, in time there's going to be that NFT that's going to prove that this person is the owner of NFT company. So we don't have to verify, we don't have to trust, but we can be in trustless relationship. So with the metaverse coming up, if I meet someone there and they say they do XYZ, well, we can actually prove it. And that's where I think NFTs are going to play a big role. But what I'm doing at the moment is I'm encouraging more and more people to experiment in this space. That is, I think, the best thing that one can do today is create items, create pieces which are going to go there and be part of that initial vision of what's going to happen. So like I'm actually consulting on a number of NFT projects at the moment. We're working in the classical art space of bringing classical art into NFTs. We're working on another project which is more in the IP sort of sector of helping IP licensed items move into the NFT world. And then with Quizando, I'm working with NFTs and helping creators, so influencers, digital creators, etc. I'm helping them understand how NFTs can bring value to their communities and can help actually engage and gamify their communities. But buying right now, it is important for the general sort of atmosphere, but I think the creation and the creating of community and the building of trust right now is the key element.
We realize that this concept of community building around art and the artist is an increasingly important issue in this upcoming metaverse era. Returning back to Zack, we explored the idea of digital tribes.
So you're saying that in order for an NFT to thrive, you need to build your own tribe.
Let's not call it a tribe. I'm building, yes, a small community, and usually these communities are built using something social media. Obviously, Twitter is very prominent for NFTs, and what a lot of NFT creators use as well is Discord. Because what's great about Discord is you can speak directly to your followers, to the people who support you. There isn't any algorithm that's going to stop it from getting in the way of what gets seen, what doesn't get seen. So community, I would say, is one of the most important things to building a good and successful NFT. And it's the hardest thing to do as well. It takes a lot of time because besides doing the art, I don't know, like some artists, like we love doing the art, you know what I mean? And then the communicating with people, like, you know, it has to be a mix of both.
But it seems like it depends on building, which requires a lot of commitment. So being a good artist is not
Of
enough.
course.
You need to show commitment and longevity in this for it to work, right? If I get it right.
Exactly. When really and truly, it's not, although this might sound a bit contradictory, but art isn't everything. It's the community that comes first, and you have to understand why the community is coming together. What value are you bringing to the community? Maybe the community just really love your art and they really want to support your art. Maybe the community really like the message behind your art. If you're, for example, an artist who promotes female empowerment, of course, more women want to support that.
How do you think NFTs are helping to shape the future of contemporary art?
Okay, this is a really cool question. I from the little that I'm seeing and how things have developed, I think it's really changing the way people are seeing contemporary art, in the sense that it caught the attention of Christie's, it caught the attention of Sotheby's. I mean, you would have never have thought that these top end places and auctions would ever display a JPEG, but because of what's happening in the space, they just started adopting it. I would say slowly, we will move towards something more including the metaverse, which is, I think, the next stage now of moving from, because lots of people are being a bit shy and saying, like, for example, okay, why a JPEG? Why is a JPEG being sold for this amount of money? Why is JPEG valued as much as an artwork by Damien Hirst, for example? Why are these things being? But the metaverse will bridge those two things together, in the sense that it will take the physical world and the digital world and put it together. This is something that's slowly progressing over time.
What is the metaverse exactly?
So the metaverse, you could say, is like a digital world. It is a world where things aren't real. It's basically the creation of a world where it's more immersive, basically. So we're abided by our screens. I mean, no longer will we be abided by this small rectangle. I mean, we will be able to put on these glasses maybe one day, and we can interact with the computer, or we can interact with the desk, and there will be actual digital feedback. But in simple terms, the metaverse is a more immersive experience of digital. You can actually move, it's more engaging. Even, I don't know if you've tried the Oculus, it's amazing. I had my doubts about it, but when I tried it, I was blown away. Painting and drawing is crazy cool.
What tips would you give to someone who wants to start in NFTs?
I would say, if you're having thoughts about it, just go and do it, explore it. There is just a little small curve to learn, but it is completely worth it once you get into the space. And it's amazing. It's a whole different art world. There isn't that kind of competition feel. Everyone wants to help everyone wants to see everyone succeed. I would say just go into it. There are some small learning curves. I would suggest looking into three things, basically. So for you to get into NFTs, you need three basic things. You need to have some money that you're willing to exchange into the currency of the internet, or these NFTs, which is called Ethereum. There's also Solana, but let's talk about Ethereum for now. So you just need to convert your money into Ethereum using an exchange, using Binance, Kraken, or you can use any kind of exchange. And from that, you have to download a wallet for these NFTs, which is called a Web3 wallet, which is MetaMask, basically, or SafePal or Trust. Just having those three things set up, you're set to interact with these platforms. It's just as simple and then as going on a platform saying, I really like this artist, or I really like this work, let me purchase it. Or I have this idea, let me do a collection, let me upload this myself. One last thing, start from now by adding value to people, building a small community. If you, for example, like me, if you like cartoons, start drawing cartoons. I'm pretty sure around the world there are people who like cartoons as well, and they can resonate with you. So start building a bit of a tribe or community.
And the last question, the internet is turning us all into a work of art. Do you agree?
I would say it's turning us into a work of art when we express ourselves, because it's allowing us for, this is a very beautiful period, because it's allowing us to capture ourselves on the blockchain, this means it will never be deleted, or it's going to be documented for life, and it is there for life. So we can record the way we express ourselves. So yes.
Thank you, Zack, and thank you all for listening. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to the CSAI channel.